Hi there, I'm Drew Badger, the world's #1 English fluency guide, and it is a pleasure to welcome you to another advanced listening practice lesson. Today I want to talk about one of my biggest pains as an educator and hopefully try to shed some light. This is a great phrase meaning to make it clear for you or make it easy to see. So to shed some light on what my most successful learners do versus some people that follow me that are maybe not achieving the success that they like to have. So I want to talk about in this video what you want versus what you need. What you want versus what you need. And now this is not something that's specifically for what I do as an English fluency guide. It's really for anybody that's trying to educate people, whether you're trying to help people get fit or learn an instrument or, to do your taxes properly, anything else. Within a group of people, you've typically got like a 5, 15, 80 spread of people that are able to do something. And so you've got the 5 people out of maybe 100. So 5% are really doing a great job. The top 15 or the top, 20. So you've got the 5 and then the 15 below that, which are doing a pretty good job. And then you've got the 80% below that, which are maybe not having as much success, if at all, as they would like. Anyway, excuse me about that. I'm doing like a lot of videos, a whole bunch of them right now. I'm excited to make a whole bunch of videos, so I'm making many, and I might be losing my voice over time. We'll see. Anyway, I've got enough energy in me. I wanted to make this video, and so hopefully this is an important thing, and hopefully I want you to think about this in the way you learn, so that you can find out if you're one of the students that can fit in that top 5 or at least top 20 and not in the bottom 80%. And again, this is nothing like specific about what I do. It's in anything. So you've got the top 20% of people that are achieving things and the bottom 80% in any category. So even if you just look at like the number of people that live in a particular city, you've got 20% of that city area has 80% of the people. And I've talked about this, and it's a pretty common thing called the 80-20 principle or the Pareto principle. But anyway, as it applies to what I'm speaking specifically about today, the people that I help learn are typically the people that get just enough information that they understand how to take that next step, and then they just keep moving, and that's it. And if they don't get exactly what they need, they figure out how to do it anyway. And then the bottom 80% of people, and hopefully this video will give you a better indication of which group you are in, and hopefully you want to move up into the top 20 and then into the top 5. But the 80% of people that typically aren't getting as much success as they'd like to have, these are people that are always looking for lots of more information. They're waiting to take action. They want to make everything perfect before they actually speak or before they try something else out. Or they're hoping to have everything exactly perfectly before they, make a decision. And again, I'm trying to speak specifically about fluency, but this is in many other areas of life. Pretty much everything this 80-20 principle rules. So again, you've got 5, 15, and 20, 5, 15, and 80, I should say, and everything tends to fall in along these lines, and then people reorganize themselves. You could take even the bottom 80%, if you move them into a new category, you would see them organize themselves in a 5, 20%, and then 80% as well. So it's it's fractal. This is a kind of a difficult way of explaining, but the same thing, whether you're looking at it closely or looking at it far away, you see the same pattern. Anyway, people ask me what kind of apps do I use to learn languages, or what do I recommend? You know what's on my iPhone? I've got Chess, and I've got Angry Birds, and that's it. I don't have any language learning apps at all. I don't ever use them. I haven't really recommended anything like that. Not to say that there aren't things that are helpful, but the people that are always looking for they're specific things like flashcard apps specifically, I don't really use any. I don't use any of them, so I don't recommend any particular flashcard. And again, it doesn't mean whether it's good or not. But most of the people that I help, again, that top 5% is not needing some flashcards in order to get fluent. They're learning the lessons that they need and then taking action. That's the thing that people do, and that's really the only thing people need to do. And this is kind of a tricky thing as a teacher. because as a person that's convincing people to actually take action, and this is most of my job. It's not really even the lessons that I provide. It's trying to motivate you to actually get out and do what you should be doing. So I want to be your friend and help you out, but really it's more important that I actually get you to move. And so just being a leader for you, showing you that confidence is important. And that you have to actually take action in order to get fluent. So the people that are, watching this video, I want you to think about what kind of action steps you're taking. Are you going around and looking for what's the next cool app that I have to use? It's going to help me make better flashcards on my phone. Do you really care about that? Is that really helpful? And are there people succeeding that aren't using those apps at all? So those are the things you should be thinking about. Is there a person, is there an example of someone that has succeeded at what I want to do without using this particular thing? And what are the commonalities of those people that are succeeding? And typically I've discovered within what I do as an English fluency guide, the people that are succeeding are not the ones that are trying to get thousands of apps and thousands of other things and read tons of articles online about stuff. They learn a piece of information and they apply a piece of information. That's it. It's such a simple idea, but it's really difficult for people because people get excited about, ooh, there's a new flashcard app. Fantastic. I never cared about that as a teacher or as a learner myself, and that's why I don't have anything that I recommend specifically that people should use to learn with. So you learn a particular principle, and that's what I try to do with these videos. I try to, in each video, give you a specific principle that you should be learning. Then you master that by going out and applying that information, regardless if it's within fluency and learning English or within anything else in your life. So take this information and go out and practice that, go out and use that information, and that's what's going to help you get fluent. I've got some learners actually in my top 5%. People that live they're not living in English countries or English speaking countries. They're not even really living with a lot of people they can practice with, but they're getting fluent. And it's amazing to see the progress of these people. One in particular named Chet from Nepal, I believe it's Nepal, but has no real way to practice and doesn't really have the resources or the money, can't use a credit card or anything to pay for any lessons or to travel anywhere to go become a fluent speaker. But he's improving just because he's, again, taking those steps. He learns the lesson and then he applies the lesson. So right now, whatever you're learning, if you're maybe spending 5 minutes watching this video, take 30 minutes. So again, the 80-20 principle applies to watching these videos as well. So you take maybe 20% of your time to learn something and then 80% of your time to apply that information that you've learned. So take some phrases that you've learned from this lesson, go write them down, read them, speak them, use them in conversations with other people. But again, the people that get fluent are the ones that they decide what they want, they learn the principle, and then they take action. So the thing that most people want, they want all this information. I had a guy yesterday emailed me about my collection of English fluency guides, and he wanted a refund after 15 minutes of using the guides. He said, "Well, I looked through the guides for 15 minutes and want a refund." Now, typically people are often surprised when they get the guides because it's not 8 thick books or 9 thick books of 100, 200 pages each, because what people need is actually just the information so that you can go out and practice. But what a lot of people want is they want a thick book because, they think that's what they want. And again, people, it's just kind of a problem that educators have, where people most times, if you look at an actual book, most books have maybe 20%, if that, maybe 2% of the pages of a book actually have the information you need. And this is why there are actually companies that just make book summaries, because, CEOs or other people that don't have much time, they want to get the information from a book without having to spend time reading all of this extra stuff. Now, a book is a really interesting thing because it's trying to give people what they want, but having to sneak what's needed in there. So people would really much rather get the information quickly, but you feel that if you're spending money, you should have a book. You should have 300 pages instead of 20 pages, even though the 20 pages is the only part of it you really need. So what you should be thinking about for this is try to be the kind of person, or absolutely if you can, be the kind of person that wants what you need and not what you want. I know that sounds weird, but if you're the kind of person that's like, wow, if I'm buying a book, I really want to have like, it better be a really thick book with a beautiful cover and all that. If you're that kind of person, it's really going to be difficult for you to get fluent because you will constantly be looking for what you want instead of focusing on what you actually need. And what you need really isn't that much. So again, that's why like for my English fluency guides, I try to make them packed with information. And the interesting thing about this person that they emailed me asking for a refund, he was saying he really loves the videos I create. But the interesting thing about that is that all of the videos I create, all of that information comes from the information in the guide. So my whole teaching philosophy, the way I got fluent, everything that I've used to help learners all over the world get fluent is the same information contained in those guides. So if you enjoy what I do in these videos, but you want to have all of like the information distilled, so it means like taking like everything from what you might see in these videos, but giving it in a really clear, concise way, and specific action steps you can take to get anything you want, especially with fluency, to become a better speaker, to learn how to use grammar without thinking and translating in your head, to become a much more, confident user of the kind of vocabulary that native speakers actually use in conversations. All of this stuff is included in the guides. And so the people that do get that, and they're the kind of like, 20% or 5%, if I give the collection of guides to those people, they tend to do amazing things and don't really need that much help because they know how to take principles once they have good principles and then apply them. But other people, if you're the kind of person that just wants to have a lot of information, even though you're not really doing anything with it, like I remember seeing like people that are selling, like these are like, people selling information online. Like here's a memory stick of 500 gigabytes of information. And for the people that want lots of stuff like that, like it's easy to sell because wow, like 500 gigabytes. Wow, that sounds like a lot of information, but it's just going to be confusing for you. You're going to get all this and think, well, now what? Now what do I do? So you get excited about buying that stuff, but are you actually going to get what you need and figure out what you need from that 500 gigabytes? Because I guarantee you're going to have 80% of that information that's not so helpful, 20% that's like really helpful, and then 5%, which is going to be the best you can get. So I only want to give you the 5% of everything that I could be saying. These videos could be, like 20 hours long, and I'm still repeating myself. But what I want you to get is that 5% thing, the 5% thing that you should be receiving from these videos and from any other information I produce. So I don't want to give you anything extra that you don't need. I want you to focus on the principles, focus on what you need, and try to forget about what you want or what you think you want. Anyway, if this has been an interesting video for you, do click that like button, become a subscriber to the EnglishAnyone.com YouTube channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye. To continue learning, click on the link in this video to download Speak English Naturally, our free guide to speaking and sounding like a native English speaker. The guide reveals the 3 most important kinds of conversational English you must learn if you want to sound native, and will help you experience instant improvement in your fluency and speaking confidence. To download your free guide on a mobile device, click on the link in the upper right of this video. To download your free guide from a computer, click on the link in the lower right of this video. I look forward to seeing you in the guide.